welcome to the Travelling Introvert. Today we are going to talk about communication with vendors. This has come up a lot in the past month and I wanted to talk about it because it's really important. Someone with their own business, or you out there who might be looking to have their own business, there's nothing more important than your communication with your clients stroke vendors. So one thing that happened is that I was working for a client and their primary communication was a mixture of a lot of Facebook and social media tagging, and then followed with some emails, and Slack was suggested. Now, the way they introduced me to this method of communication was they emailed me most of the time. They Facebook tagged me a lot of the time, but didn't ask if it was okay. And then they also just sent me an invite to Slack. They didn't explain what it was. They didn't explain what they used it for, and they didn't explain why it was important. Fast forward about 3 months, and this particular vendor was an event vendor. And so I was speaking at this event, only to find out that Slack was their primary method of communication, and a lot of really important information regarding transportation, getting picked up for flights, and that sort of information was only being communicated through Slack, which in itself, isn't great. But the fact that they didn't tell people that, hey, for this particular event, this is going to be our main method of communication. You really all need to jump on there for this is a huge misstep. Not only that, Slack is not that widely used. Those people who do use Slack think everybody uses Slack, and that's not the case. What is the case, however, is that most people use email. And so while you wouldn't try and make sure that you email everyone, as well as putting this information in your preferred method of communication, is beyond me. And then roll forward sort of a little bit past that, they actually sent out a message asking what my preferred method of communication was during the event. And I gave them that information and they failed to use it throughout the event. They just did the same Slack thing. And this caused a lot of confusion, not necessarily from my part, but definitely from other people who attended the event and aren't on Slack and don't have it on their phone and all these other things. Whereas email, it will get through. So that's one thing about communication. If you are going to introduce communication to a client or a vendor, make sure you explain to them what it is and why they need to use it. It's part of your onboarding process. So if you prefer to be communicated to by voice message, say so. If it's a case of email, then say so. If it's email plus like a project management tool, say so and explain why. And give them instructions on how to use it. I know I've been onboarded with various clients of mine and they use, project management software. And I just got told, here you go. And yes, partly it is on me as an adult to learn the software. But at the same time, as an employer or a project client, it is also nice to have it onboarding. Even if it's just a case of, here, go and look at these top 3 links. Or here, go and do this, and try these tasks and do it in our sandbox. These things make a huge difference to how you feel about the tools that you have to use and the company. And same goes for if you have clients that you want to use your specific software on. Tell them, show them, take 30 minutes of your time and do a Zoom video, a live thing, and show them how to use it. Because you want them to use it so you don't get annoyed, and you want them to feel comfortable with it, and you want them to understand. Understanding is the key. If they don't understand how to use it or why to use it, it's far more difficult to get them to use it. And then there's frustration at both ends. They feel that stuff isn't getting done and you don't understand why they're not doing what you asked. So that is just a short thought on communication methods and tools and how you can use them with clients or with prospective speakers or with vendors, a good way of going about it. Just explain why. That's all it is. Explain why and let them know. Don't just invite them and expect them to know. All right. Thank you for listening. This was the Career Introvert. Should you want to drop me a link or send me a message, I'm on Facebook, the Career Introvert. The Travelling Introvert podcast is also on Facebook. Check us out. Until next time.